Hello, my fellow Americans. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I am in the state of Florida at the moment. I have a story that I would like to share. It's an epic tale about what is going on in my life. A story that could be yours. And this is a story about our rights and our freedoms. Like many of you, I have tried to respect the system by following the rules. But the rules are just not fair. I do not want to wage a war. I want to establish a united agreement to instill change. Our public officials and servants are people too, and people, by nature, can become corrupt or abusive, even if their job is dealing in honesty and the truth. We have some problems, big problems. We just need a little change. I'm going to start by asking for the state of Florida to abandon the false misdemeanor charges against me. We would like to see government agencies, police stations, and the courts operate on a 24-hour basis, like the courts and jails do, and the police stations, so we could live and operate with the efficiency and productivity as well. Now that would be fair. We would also like to see unemployed people contracted without a loyalty clause to observe the activity of our hired public officials and also to review unfair and unlawful cases like mine and millions of others that are damaging people and lives. Our safety can also be reassured with a 5-minute anger management evaluation before and after every judge and law enforcement officer's daily service. They have been biasly watching us with intent to control us. Now we need to watch them. Big Brother has been here for years. It's time for us to take this seriously. This nation, our nation, belongs to the people and us. It's time to put that responsibility back in our hands. The people's hands. I feel proud to have grown up in America. Dreams, freedom, a possibility of a great future for everyone. These are the reasons America was born. I was born here under the Constitution as an artist. God put me here and gave me the ability to be who I am. I have never been one to oppose the righteous, authoritative figures in our society. At this age, I see that they are just people as well. I have gone 40 years proving that I can live and operate in harmony with the rhythms and perceptions of my fellow Americans, even in this constantly changing world. I, the natural man, Daniel, will not be commanded, ordered, or forced to perform the debtor's part for commercial or physical levy by way of assigned numbers or undisclosed and misleading contracts based on a signature. I have sworn to be a nonviolent person, and I will not steal or damage the property of others. You are notified. You have been. I must ask the court systems who command law enforcement agencies, what makes us private beings less deserving of rights than you? Why do you feel you can come into our lives anytime you want and do what you want without being accountable? We need change in our homeland. This world is full of people who commit acts of violence, lie, cheat, and steal. There's nothing preventing those same people from being embellished by a badge, endowed with a gun, secured by an order, and then commanded to negatively affect our world for reasons of control or commerce. We must address these issues. We have to do that for ourselves, right away. Consider the present. Consider the future. Consider the past. Now it's time to think about your family in relation to the world outside and how much it has come into the worlds that we have inside. Think about what your part can be. It starts by speaking up. Be heard by words or letters. Just start. Things will not get better until we find unity. Unity can be had by looking at where the majority of our stress comes from in life, and who is responsible for taking advantage of us as we let them change us under the presumption that they are helping us. They are not. They instigate and they want us to fight with our neighbors and act on the desperation they have instilled in our minds through the media and intimidation. It gives them a self-proclaimed reason to feel that they can come into our lives and threaten us. Too much time has passed for us to turn our heads now. I will briefly tell you a little bit about myself. I am an artist. I have dreams of peace and happiness in a fair world. I have made my best attempt to play my part as a contributing member of society. I have made my best effort to respect our laws of the Constitution, as well as the color of the laws within our states. Now, as I sit here talking to you, there's an active warrant out for my arrest. I have done nothing to earn or deserve this. I am innocent. I have not hurt another person. I have not stolen anyone's property, and I have not damaged anyone's property or belongings. Again, I urge the state of Florida to abandon the charges pressed against me. On November 20th, 2013, in Wilton, Manor, Florida, I was simply working with my family on private property with a signed contract stating our right to be there, as we have many times before. A public servant named Sergeant Jorge Benitez of the Wilton Manor Police Department approached me with aggression and ordered me to get in my van as I explained to him that we were working. I called 911.
911, what is your emergency?
Yeah, we're on Oakland Park. We're in Oakland Park on Dixie Highway, just north of 26th Street and south of Oakland Park Boulevard at Hassan's Rug and Carpet. And I was working here painting a sign, and I was just been addressed by a police officer, and I'm in fear for my safety, and I'm going to ask him his name, his badge number, and his bond number, and all his information right now. Okay, me and my family here, my wife and my
okay, hold on.
Yeah, and he seems kind of aggressive.
Hey, you're with an officer right now?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay, so why are you calling him?
We're private beings, and we're traveling in our own capacity.
Driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance.
Are you in a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Need your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance.
If he's asking you for your driver's license,
I don't know what to do, ma'am.
Give him your driver's license.
I'm sorry, he wants my driver's license.
Okay, well, give him your driver's license if he's asking for your driver's license.
We are traveling in our private capacity.
Okay, but if he's asking for your driver's license, give him your driver's license.
First he asked me to get in the van, now he's asking me to step out.
Okay, whatever he's asking you to do, you need to follow his orders.
Oh, well, I'd like a couple more officers on the scene, please. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and disconnect.
Okay.
Now, what is your emergency? Hello? Hello?
He then got more angry. As I tried to buy time so other officers could come to our rescue, he made reference to his firearm and commanded me to exit the van. He proceeded to accost me and then reached into the van and viciously grabbed my partner, pulling her out of the van, and proceeded to beat us both. We did not resist. The other officers showed up and followed his lead and proceeded to beat us as well, and ransacked our van and arrested us. I was told that I was being arrested for the suspicion of prowling the many times I had asked Benitez, even at the downtown Fort Lauderdale jail intake, and the answer was the same. I was being arrested for the suspicion of prowling and interfering with a police investigation. Upon being bailed out by my family, I was told that I could resolve the matter at that time on a video trial. And the charges, when I asked, were now changed to resisting arrest without violence on 2 accounts. Obviously, I said no. I do not have any public record other than traffic citations, and now, more than 6 months later, I have been denied, lied to, withheld, misled, accused, labeled, profiled, and damaged in life and to my personal self by the Broward County system, using the state of Florida as a victim and fictitious plaintiff, which is just not true. As I appeared in Mary Rudd Robinson's courtroom 416, to diplomatically honor the requests and demands of the courts, I was told by presiding Judge Fred Berman that I was not present as I stood before him.
But I'm sure it is. That's okay. I can't deal with you, sir, because you're not Daniel Chiotis. You're only going by that name. I need the real Daniel Chiotis here. If I get Daniel Chiotis here, I can handle this case and I can help you or address the problem. But it's okay. You have your right to not use that name, and that's okay with me.
I do go by the name.
Yeah, I understand.
That's for all my affairs and my commercials.
That's going by the name of Duke. I don't know if somebody uses the name Duke, that doesn't mean that's their name. They're just using that as a nickname, by the name. So I'm not sure what that means. So
for the record,
sure, I'm going to issue a capias in the amount of $10,000, and we'll have
Sir,
Daniel Chiotis arrested.
Excuse me, I have authorization to administer under this name, sir.
Okay. Not good enough. Have a good day.
Okay.
It's your principle butting into my principle. One of us has to bend. So
The phone, please.
we'll see what happens.
Outside.
Well, I prepared a statement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The officer here will accompany you outside. Tell the real Daniel Chiotis to show up next time.
I was holding the document given to me by the courts, instructed by him the last time I stood before Berman a few weeks earlier. Berman then said that someone's principles had to bend, and he then ordered a $10,000 capias warrant on me. This situation can happen to anyone, anywhere, especially in the United States of America. I have made many diplomatic and honorable attempts to handle this matter with integrity and give those representing the state of Florida a chance to retain some of that integrity. I do not feel that I should not be allowed to represent myself with all the ease and availability of methods and remedy that is necessary for the state and to the courts to dismiss and abandon this matter and fix my life for the unjust damage that is continuing to grow. I find that there is more than just an air of corruption. Breach of contract, civil rights violations, violations of sworn oaths, fabrications of information, fraud, and maybe even treason lies within this matter alone. This is my life. I have done nothing wrong. I do not consent to any further actions, motions, involvement, participation, or debt against me and my family from any of the involved and affiliated parties. There will be prosecution and fees for those that participate and have participated. You have been notified. I will say that the general opinion is that I am making a big deal over this misdemeanor, which is nothing. Well, being accosted at work by a violent policeman and then violent police, put in jail with my family, where more torture, humiliation, deprivation, and violence occurred, that affects us to a devastating degree in my personal and professional life, Now I'm being threatened to accept fabricated lies about myself while being inducted into a public system of judgment against my will and sentence that is biased, corrupt, hindering, and damaging to me and my life. Against my will. Then a judge lies on the stand and orders physical punishment on me. These people have come into my life and damaged me, and now they are scurrying to cover up, confuse, distort, and lie some more to avoid being accountable for the part they play and render me as the bad guy. They want me to wear a collar and leash so they can take me for a walk. No, stop, I say. I do not consent. Leave me be. They did this. I did not earn or petition for this. I did not consent. I reserved my rights from the start. Based on the principle of truth, honesty, justice, fairness, and integrity, I proclaim that I am the involved party that possesses and has delivered all of that. So far. Real Americans are not supposed to accept this. There are people that will try to say that I am mentally unstable and a psychopath for taking this stance to defend myself and deny the unconstitutional, offensive, and damaging to life actions that public officials have taken an oath to protect us from and not inflict upon us. In addition, they are also trying to say that I proclaimed myself as a sovereign citizen. I did not. I am just a private natural man, put here by God, trying to live. I have not hurt anybody, I have not stolen anything, and I have not damaged any property. There have been grand and costly efforts to administrate and remedy this situation. Those that are employed by, and some that even just work within our system, have shown to be biased and ignorantly selfish enough to agree with what is going on. I will only accept full dismissal and abandonment in the matter against me. Myself and others have created, signed, and notarized documents that were sent with recorded proof of delivery to all affiliated parties to set off and settle this matter and to be reviewed and placed into the case files for the case against me. I have explored numerous venues and made many attempts to be heard, respected for my rights with my rights, and to make aware the oaths taken that should be the truth and let the truth and justice prevail. I have contacted the Florida Judicial Qualifications and Performance Committee, the Florida Bar, the Attorney General of Florida, the police, the Fraud Hotline, 911, City Hall, the FBI's Governmental Corruption Agency, and many other agencies to shine light on what is happening. I have been denied and ignored and damaged by the courts. I am not the only one who has been victimized by the system. Ask yourself, when is the time to address these matters? Write, call, complain, observe, report. Do not fear. You have a right to live. You have been profiled, wrongly accused, hindered in life for reasons that are just dumb because of traffic stops or nosy, selfish thugs acting as police. Well, this concerns you and your family. The time is now, each day, until we can all feel the results, which is a sense of control that we are safe in our homeland, whether from the banks or the police. Every time you leave your homes, there are thousands of public hired and enabled people driving around in public-funded patrol vehicles with guns and badges, grouping together in order to scare, limit, extort, and direct us into being subservient, as they expect us to cower in their presence with threats. At this second, I am alone, but I know that I am not alone. I know that there are other families and individuals that are dealing with this nightmare that is now our reality. I must urge the state of Florida to rid itself of these corrupt elements. We need to shine light upon these issues and break them apart so the situation does not get worse. It will if you choose not to care and if you look the other way. The good in America is vanishing as fast as our ecosystem. Please be aware. You have the right to live. Thank you for joining me and taking the time to hear about the things that have been said for many years before. I want to let the people know that are around me and who have been in my life know that I appreciate and I love you all. Thank you, and God bless all of you. I ask everyone not to live in fear, because what gets ignored and pacified today will hurt tomorrow. And please remember, hate and violence does not have to play a part. Although they have been known to employ those things themselves, just don't. With great power comes great responsibility. I hope this helps. Thank you.